As Nigeria actually heads to the polls next month, President Muhammadu Buhari has again warned foreign diplomats in the country against meddling in the nation's politics. How far-reaching will this warning go, especially with growing foreign interests in Nigeria? PK.
You know, these nations, especially nations of the West, they are concerned about their interests. Nigeria is important to them. So they are also interested in who becomes the president of our country. They are interested in progress of our country because of their key investments here. President Buhari in 2015, President John Kerry came to Nigeria and warned that the election must not be rigged. At that time, the American government, led by Barack Obama, had made up their minds that they were going to support President Muhammadu Buhari. They did not say it openly, but everything pointed to their belief that Buhari will win the election, and they began to gravitate towards him. John Kerry, the Secretary of State, came to Nigeria to pay Buhari a visit. They suspected that he will win because they also do their own internal polling. They're able to know where the pendulum of victory is likely to swing towards, and they always have their preferences. At that time, they had given up on the Goodluck Jonathan administration because they felt the government was corrupt and all that. Remember the way the UK Prime Minister even publicly described Nigeria as fantastically corrupt. So they had given up on the Goodluck Jonathan administration. Even in his book, Goodluck Jonathan reveals that just before the election, Barack Obama was no longer picking his calls. Some of the support that they would have given him, they withdrew. For example, it was under Obama that America refused to sell weapons to Nigeria to prosecute the war against terror, citing the Leahy Law. But of course, the same Leahy Law was there when Donald Trump invited our president to the US shortly after the president won the election and promised him that he would help him to defeat terror by selling weapons to him. That was how we were able to get the Tucano bombers that we are now using to teach the bad boys a lesson, especially in the Northeast. That kind of support was denied Goodluck Jonathan. So there's no doubt that these guys always have preferences. In an election year, they always have a particular regime or a particular candidate that they will want to see win the election. There's no doubt about that. We are not like Francophone countries where they will even make that very clear. So the Francophone countries are like vassal states of France. They are like apron strings. They are like tied to the apron strings of France up to today. In the case of Nigeria, that is not the case, but they still harbor their interests. They still show interest in particular candidates. And the president knew that. That was why he said, look, don't interfere in Nigerian matters. Limit yourself to operate within your official limits. You are diplomats, do not get involved in politics and all that. You know, before now, there were some security reports that Nigerian security agencies believed were not properly verified, that some of these Western countries issued, especially about Abuja. This thoroughly pained the government, and in this electionary season, they will not want this sort of thing to happen. Buhari will not want to see them openly support a candidate. He will just want them to sit on the sidelines and watch us conduct our election by ourselves and choose our leaders all by ourselves without foreign interference. What is the value of our independence if foreign nations continue to dictate to us? But I believe that even the idea of dictating to us as a nation will not stop until we stop going cap in hand to these foreign nations to ask for loans and all that. The other day, the Senate president was saying that Nigeria should not continue to take loans. But this is a man who, at every opportunity, approves the president's request to take loans. He is not known to have said, look, let us slow down on these loans because it's like postponing the evil day. They seem not to even know that there are consequences for piling up loans and loans. And we've seen that. We've seen the quantum of money that we spend on debt servicing, that we earmark for debt servicing in our budget. So people who think that simply taking loans up and down has not got consequences. I think they need to go back to school. They need to be schooled on why you can't continue to take loans, because it takes away part of your independence as a nation, because you are then subjected to all kinds of you are given all kinds of conditions and all that before you can take this loan, before you can take that. So we need to work hard to ensure that we are very prudent in the use of our resources. We need to stop taking loans the way we are taking the loans, so that we do not become too dependent on these countries to the point that even our independence can be questioned. So Mr. President would want these ambassadors, friendly countries, to help us in defeating insecurity in our country. He will want them to help us in the area of diversification of the Nigerian economy. But he will not want them to interfere in our electoral process. That is the point that the president made, and he made that very clear. In the area of the war against corruption, they can also be of help, because many of the countries of the world have literally defeated corruption, because they've been able to bring it to the barest minimum, and technology can actually be deployed. Corruption in our country. So we want them to assist us in that regard. We want them to assist Nigeria along with ECOWAS. We want to see them getting involved in our political affairs.